Hi everybody. Today we are starting a new series where we are discussing about medical product development, which is part of the electronic development, but with more focusing on the medical field and where we are developing different type of medical electronic devices. And today we are discussing about what are the different factors in medical development and what's that, why it's suited for the current world demand and everything. And we will continue on this series in the future lectures or future videos about what are the different aspects of the medical products and how we can achieve each and every aspect. It's really important that you start your journey of medical product development with a very good understanding about what's there and what are the different components of such a development. The reason is that when you talk about normal consumer or toy level electronics, it's very quick to develop. We have to optimize the time and resources for developing such a product and put it into the market at the lowest development cost and lowest timeline possible. But when you talk about medical development, it's not about the timeline, it's mainly about the patient safety, reliability, and consistency of performance. So those are the key parameters in any successful medical product. So you have to make sure that you are achieving those parameters within the given time frame. Normally, it's not a very short time frame like any other electronic device. It's a at least 2 year window of time. Normally, a proper medical product will take 2 to 5 years to design, develop, certify, test, trial clinically, and get the medical certification and put it in the market. So you have to make sure that you properly use that timeline and allocate the proper resources and get it done properly and get it certified. So what are those different factors in medical product development? Let me explain. First, we have to make sure about the patient safety, which is the utmost first priority in any medical product. When you put the medical product into a patient, say like a ventilator, most of the times the patients rely on that, either giving you a correct value or giving the patient life itself. If the patient is unconscious and it's running, the ventilator is helping the patient to stay alive. If the ventilator immediately turns off or something error happened, the patient might even die. And there are so much of other injuries that can happen to patients. So the medical certification agencies like FDA for US and MDR for Europe, they are really careful about making sure that the patient safety is considered. And then the other part is the accuracy. Say your medical product may be giving some matrices which the doctors rely on to give medicine or for diagnosis. So if you are developing a sugar or glucose monitor device, then the doctor is prescribing their medicine based on your product's reading. So you have to make sure that the accuracy of the product is according to the given standards. And then the reliability. The product should not break in the middle or within its lifetime. It shouldn't give erroneous result. So the reliability of the product should be way higher than the reliability of any other consumer or toy level product. Then we have to make sure that we verify and validate all these achievements and matrices that we defined in the beginning. So throughout the development process and pre-certification process, we have to verify and validate all these parameters we set forth. So that validation and verification process is really lengthy and comprehensive, and those certification agencies like FDA, they look for this verification and validation documentation and make sure that the product developer developed this properly. And then after all these things, we have to push the product for certification. There are two types of certifications. One is general standard electronic certifications, which is like CE, UL, FCC, ESD, EMI certifications. They are the generic certifications for any other reliable electronic device. And then there are FDA specified tests and certifications that you have to take to make sure that the product you are developing can meet the requirements given by that specific FDA requirement sheet. And then we have to maintain, after all the certification is done, everything is approved, you have to make sure that production is done according to the given production standards. Normally it's ISO 13485, but there are a lot more that you have to adhere into when you are producing the medical product. That standards are given to make sure that all the products that you are producing are 100% tested and reliable, and those components and production procedures are done according to a given standard, so that even in the bulk after 10 years you are having the exact same quality product as your output. And then there are design standards for most of the complex and reliable electronic medical devices required. There are design standards that means like design documentation, requirement analysis, clinical trials, testing. Those should be designed and documented properly according to a given standard. Again, it's mostly ISO 13485, but we have other standards also. So we have to make sure that we adhere to those standards too. So you can see that it's a little bit more complex than a general toy level or consumer level electronic product development. There are so much of works, testing and certification you have to do, and even after the design you have to make sure that production is running according to those standards. So those those effort take much more time and much more effort and headcount than a general electronic product development. That's why we have to make sure that we know exactly what we are subscribing into before we actually code for a product like that, or maybe we start development. If we start without this knowledge, we might be coding for a wrong product development, and that might either burn your profit margin, or sub quality product will be developed at the end of it. So you have to make sure that you know all these steps about this medical product development before you start your journey on product development. So in the coming videos, we'll talk about that in detail. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel and watching the videos. We'll continue on this journey with you. Thank you.